Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle 21 from Mariët Lustenhouwer. Now, I'm going to draw a little border around this, and as I do, I'll tell you about why I chose this. So the date of today's recording is 2/21/22. And that's really cool. But then I was thinking, oh, well, best laid plans. When I do these videos, I am doing them for our daily Tangle on our Facebook, Tangle Addicts community. I also do list them on my website, tangleaddicts.com. And so what I started doing when we started doing this, gosh, almost 400 days ago, we started with, we had done some challenges before. And then we did the 100-day project, and then we decided we wanted to keep going. And so why start over with numbers? When you've gone through 100 days of doing something every day, it's just like you want to just keep adding on to that. And so if this is just my challenge to me, that's what I have done. If you want to come and join, and if you're on Facebook and want to join us on the community, information is in the description section. We'd love to have you join, and you just pick up wherever you can. But anyway, so I post the Tangle the night before, so that way, it's there fresh the next day. So while this one is technically for 2/22/22, I'm like, well, this is close. 21. I have another one with the number 2 in it for tomorrow. But all right, this is a neat one. And it starts off with, let me grab the term really quick. As far as the grid goes, it is, and I always forget the name of and I don't know if it's a technical term. I need to look it up. OGEE type of grid. It's really what we would call a reticula, which covers all of the various grids and things that you can then put other things in. All right, so that one looks like this. It's really a wavy line. And let's see, I'm just going to start here. We'll go up. I'm going to use this edge and come down. And you can have it be as, I don't know if wide is the right term, but you can have it be just as wavy as you want to. All right, and then I'm going to come the other direction. Mine are never even. And you know what? Most of you know. That's okay. You're probably all saying it at the same time I am, if you've been following. It just, whoops. It makes it whimsical. And then some. All right. Then, once you have that set, and so this is a great fill-in. So once you have this set, we're going to basically do seeds in the middle of these. And so, it's just going to depend on how your grid looks. This is a Tangle, as I was playing with it, that it doesn't matter how much I don't like what it looks like as I finish it. And there's one point where it's just like you go, oh, it doesn't look so bad. I love Tangles like that because most of the time it's just, for me anyway. All right, so a seed, if you do not know. So I'm going to start at this end. I'm going to come up to here. It is a curved line, or sort of curved, because I made mine really long. So my curve is just a little bit more than a straight line. And then going the other way. And when you get both sides, then you can kind of see. So we're starting at one point. We're coming up. See, in this one, I'm strategically putting this right here in the middle because, see, this ended way somewhere up here. And so this is one of those, just do the best you can. And also, don't worry about it. Because, like I said, in the end, it's going to look really neat. So every single one of these, we're putting this seed in the middle. And so because I went off of my grid, I'll have these little partials. well in here too. And a lot of time, that one will just be peeking in there. And I haven't talked about these, well, maybe because I haven't done one in a while, it seems like. But when you do something like this where you have these little partial tangles, what I like to do is do the full ones first, and then you kind of get the pattern under your hand, and then it makes it a little bit easier to, in your mind, see, oh, okay, this is going to go about here, so here's this curve. And then it looks, I always say, it makes it convincing looking then. Okay. So then, next step is we're going to put some little bands in, so just pairs of small curved lines. Now, I don't know, what I noticed on Mariët's step out is she seemed to have 3 in each one. So we're just going to go with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm starting in the middle, and just a little curved line like this in these seeds that we just drew. And then that way you can come up, a certain, whatever distance that you want, so they're kind of somewhat spread out. And just a slight curve in them. I have my curve going down towards the bottom of the page. I'm kind of like making smiley faces a little bit. And I don't know that it matters. You can play with changing it up. Although, you can change it up and you just flip it around. It doesn't matter. I think I would probably, at least in either the row or column this would be, have them be a consistent direction is what would be my recommendation, because that way, again, going towards the the convincing thing. And so in these here on the side, I would even like this. Well, I'm just going to put that one in the middle because I think the other ones would be up here and down here. And just putting those little lines in, I do believe makes an enormous difference. And here too, you just have to picture where is that that halfway mark. And don't think too much about it. Just kind of look and go, oh, okay, and then do. The objective of Zentangle, especially if you're following the method and you're using it for the meditative aspect or the mindfulness aspect. I don't, some of me, I'm not sure if it's, kind of, it might be one and the same. It just depends on you and what you're looking to get out of it. But if you're looking for that, the less we have to think, the better. And that's why in the method, it's black, white. I'm gonna just I will just talk about that as I'm filling these in, and then go to the next step. That's why it's all about black, white, shades of gray, so we don't have to think about color or anything. Next up, so at this point is where I just go, oh, look at that! It doesn't look that doesn't look so bad. It doesn't look as bad as I was thinking it looked a minute ago. So it's amazing to me how sometimes just doing something like that makes a world of difference. All right, and then the next step, and I'm just going to start right here in the middle because this is a really nice one. We're going to put some kind of S-shaped lines, but really aura-ing this curve. And if you watch, so I'm going to come off of the seed and travel down, and about halfway, I'm then putting the end of this line, on that initial line that we made. You can add a little shape to this. I kind of like tracing a little bit and then coming off, and then maybe tracing a little bit on the other, but just having a little bit of a curve in there, okay? And we're going to start off by doing all of, let's see, what is this? That's the left side as I'm looking at it. So I'm going to do all of those first. We will do the other side as well. But I'm going to do all of this side first as to, I don't know, just to keep it simple. Keep it simple. And that is another thing with the Zentangle method. I know a lot of times we kind of get hung up on doing things perfect. And then sometimes here, like if you do like this one here that got a little bit out of whack, just kind of make it up. It's all right. And then here I'll just, have that come down. But that's what we want. It's not about, I know it's hard sometimes to get our heads around it. It's not about being perfect. It's about, kind of what you want to get out of it. And I know myself, I like to replicate designs, and I like to make them look as close to the original as possible. And so, like I said, sometimes it's hard to get our heads around that. But I encourage you to do so, because we've had some conversations on our Facebook group. We usually have them surrounding the use of rulers and things like that. And I always joke, and especially like on our live classes, and I joke with my mom, who a lot of times will kind of map out where she's going to make her string per se. And a lot of times when we are doing stuff on our sessions, our calls, it's really Zentangle inspired art. And so I've been working to kind of make that distinction. It's like, well, if we're doing that, then it is a little bit different. And but if you're really looking to have this be helpful in stress relief, yeah, either way, we just have to work at not worrying about when things don't end up right. And I will tell you this, it is therapeutic in and of itself to work at letting go of some of that stuff. This one I think I'm going to do, well, let's see, I think I can do it this way. Sometimes these little partials, oh, there we go, can create a little bit of a challenge when you're doing something like this, because I don't have this top part to come from. But then it's like, it's okay. It's just like, we'll just make it up. It's all right. And just a little bit of a curve gives it some motion, as you can see. And know that we're going to do some shading, so that will cover up things as well. And I'm not going to worry about it, because I see some places that I might want to touch up. And then we do have what I call course corrections. And it was as if you're really not happy with something. Of course, we don't want to be miserable either, but at the same time, it's let's see, that went a little blurry. Hold on, let me just fix that. No, there we go. Okay. I just wanted to check. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, okay. On the other side, we're doing the same thing on the other side. Reason that I like to do kind of one side at a time is because you kind of get in this groove of how you're doing it, and the curve is going a certain direction. And again, for the meditative aspect, the repetitiveness of Zentangle is what gets us into gets us the benefit of the meditation, and I don't know if I want to say meditative state, but it could be. It's like where you're just focused on this, and you're not focused on anything else, and we're not worrying about stuff. And that's why I like to keep repeating myself in saying, don't worry about it, just keep moving on. Maybe make a mental note if you don't like something, and then we can go back and revisit it when it's decorating time, we'll say. Or shading time, and then we can that's the opportunity to take a look at it and say, okay, didn't like that, and if you can't find it, then that's a good sign. Then don't worry about it for sure. But there's always ways. All right, now what I've done here is I've turned my tile, because we're going to do that same motion, but it's I don't want to do it because that just doesn't feel comfortable to me. So change your tile position so that way your hand is comfortable and you can just rock and roll with this pattern. I really like the way I'm doing it right now. I should have done, I don't know if I'm going to revisit what I did on the other side, because I'm like, wow, I like that a lot better. That's so funny. Maybe I've hit that state, even though I'm talking. I do believe because that you can get the benefits from Zentangle, even if you're laughing, even if you're talking. because what we're doing is we're just focusing on this one stroke. And like I said, this is kind of an S stroke. And try not to go too fast. All right, I'm going to do that later, that one there. And so what I'm doing here is, like, even though this line was more of a, say, a C shape, I mean, so because it kind of comes up to a point, so there is that bit of an S. I mean, and I'm kind of doing it like an upside down S, but it's still an S curve. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing a couple things that you could play with. One would be on either side. Well, let me just back up. By the nature of having it be kind of a curved line or in the top, you can see right here, except I haven't done this one yet, how neat that looks. The thing that was occurring to me is, like, this side I have them a little bit thinner than this side, so that's something you could play with. And if you were able to and wanted to do something consistently different like that, that's something you certainly could do. You know, like that little place, it's like, well, that gap, I had it like going a couple different directions, and I didn't really care for that, so I just added one in the middle. We can do all of that kind of stuff. And again, that's why I always like to just remind us that it's, you know, it's not about perfection. This is each of our journey through Zentangle. And a lot of times you don't even know what that's going to be. What does that mean? I know for me, it has meant, and I say risk-taking in a little bit different sense. It's not like I'm going and jumping out of airplanes or anything like that. I would never do that. But being able to let go of the perfection, I think that's the biggest thing that I have had. Let's see, I'm going to do this and then back that up. So if you have a little trouble, you know, if you're doing a little partial, you could start it like in the middle and then work backwards. It's up to you. Okay. Oh, this is a really good one. I could get that one done. Oh, I've lost that groove. There we go. You know, and as I'm doing this, like, it doesn't matter what your curve looks like. Just kind of then, whatever happens, and then just aura it to the best of your ability and keep going. And it's all okay. All right, I just have this one little section. Yeah, these partials are getting me. Okay. Like I said, I'm just making a little. Oh, here we go. A little curve. That looks convincing. Whoa, and that looks so neat. Okay. Yeah, just wow. All right. Now for some shading, and I'm gonna dare say, let me look again. Well, while I'm talking to you, let me look. Yeah, I don't think that there was too many. Oh, there's one example. But I'm thinking, of course, you can have fun with it. I'm picturing if you wanted to, you know, do any fill-ins, things like that, of course you could. But let's just focus on shading right now, and then you can always play. And what I'm going to do, yes, okay, here's what I'm going to do. On looking at the seeds, on the left side, I'm putting some graphite. And I'm just going to do that. Oop, that one goes all the way up. And see, this little bit up here that I was like, ugh, knowing that I was going to be shading on that side, I was like, oh, well, I don't need to worry so much about what it looks like, because when you're doing the shading, it kind of covers up some of this stuff. All right. And tortillon. I think I got them all. And, you know, because I don't have a whole lot of space, I'm just going to do the, well, either pushing or going side to side. I want to bring it out a little bit, but not. So look at that. Did that get blurry again? Wow, this is supposed to be staying still. And I didn't even hit my camera. Okay. So just being careful, just following that seed line, trying to stay within, against the seed and not going past that curve. That's kind of what I'm aiming to do, because it's going to give a neat effect if I don't go past that. And doing just side to side, I'm bringing the gradient out a little bit, but you don't want to bring it all the way. Oops. Well, there we go. But just not too far, because we don't want to, fill that whole thing in. All right, let's see what that looks like. Oh, neat. Neat. Okay, and then the next thing that we will do is on the other side. Okay, and so on the other side, we're going to do the other side. So where we did the left side of the seed, this one we're going to do on the left side of, I don't know, whatever we want to call this, where these lines are. So not right against the seed. Although, there's 100 ways to Sunday that you could shade this. But if you watch, so right here, not up at the top, but see where these lines start coming down and where they meet this curve line right here, that first, curve line of the grid that we drew. And I'm just going to bring those in and around, and let's see, I'm just going to use the tortillon on that side, and let's see what it looks like. Neat. It adds to the kind of to the bendiness, the waviness of it. All right, so this is on the far side. It's hard sometimes to see. It's like, okay, so like I said, as these are coming down, and you can go all the way in like that, and it kind of, I always get so anxious because I just want to see what the shading looks like, because it's so fun and exciting to kind of transform these. Okay, so let's see. So I have the top done. Oh, so and here's the other fun thing, right? So I have these ones done, and so then you can see the difference between this and this, and it just adds so much more depth. And let's see. So you're going to the seed. We're doing the far to the right side of the seed. I don't know what we want to call that, because these are starting to look kind of leafy, aren't they? In such a habit of wanting to use the tortillon so bad right now, because I want to see this result. And again, just where those lines, those S shapes that we did, right where they're touching that outer curve, that's where we want to start. And I'm going to do the same thing where I'm just bringing it out a little bit. So I'm just going kind of a side to side stroke with the tortillon. I did those ones already. Oh, just up here I didn't do these little partial guys. That's that side. I like to have the gradient. I'm just always, I don't like it when I see like a bunch of graphite piled. Now, something to also remember or think about is, the tortillon does get packed up with graphite. So if you have a small section, I'm feeling like I'm missing. If you have a small section, then you could always just use the tortillon without putting any more graphite down. And it's a nice idea to do, because I've had it too many times where I go to use the tortillon and I've put some graphite down, and then it's like really, really dark. And It's like, oh, well, had I. Oh, isn't that neat? And then you can play with the darkness of it. Really neat. Now, I'm going to also dare say, because like I said, we just did this one side here, this one side here. I'm almost thinking, yeah, I'm going to go through with my thought. The same thing we did here, we could do on this other side. There's no reason not to. Well, especially right here. It was just calling out to me. Shade me. Oh, yes. See, and that just helps with that curve. Now, something that you could do also, so if you feel like, oh, well, I'm ending up with too much graphite, if you, like this is, I'm trying to be a little bit darker here because there is some, well, I don't know, graphite is right here, so this is graphite free, so then you have that, wow, then you really see that curve. Okay, so I'm really liking doing this. But you can play with that as well. You know, have the graphite be a little lighter in some sections than others. Just depends. It is all for your playing. All right, let's get these right here. And here. You know, it's always a good rule of thumb if you feel like you don't know where to shade, where something curves or looks like it's tucking under. So see how these lines look like as if this is twisting. You know, this is kind of tucking under here. This are bending over this way. So where it tucks and bends, if you add the graphite, you just don't go wrong. The only time that I suppose you go wrong is if you end up using too much. And, you know, it's like we don't put erasers in our kits either. So that's where it's just be careful. And, you know, not too much. You can always go back and add more. Always can. Oh, isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? Well, I hope you enjoyed this 21, which is done on recording on the 21st of February. Oh, such a neat tangle, and you know, and I can picture if you want to use color, how much fun you can have with that too. Just really, really neat. I like that waviness. Super, super neat. If you enjoyed the video, would love to have a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with friends. You know, and I'm also going to say, you know, as you're looking at it, if you see a place like this, I'm like, well, this is just screaming to me that it needs to be shaded there. We can have as much fun as we want to. Also, if you enjoyed the video, would I said, yeah, click the like button, love the thumbs up. That helps out a lot. Share it. If you're not a subscriber to the channel already, would love to have you be a subscriber. And as I mentioned in the description section, you'll find links to step outs, also links to connect with me. If you enjoy my style, I'd love to have you join me on I like to call them sessions more than classes, but we have these Tangle Time sessions once a week. They are free. I do some classes that have a fee as well, but a lot of them are free, and would love to have you join us and have fun tangling and exploring tangles and our creativity. And with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.